You're busy checking who watched your story while your life is slipping past you. You're waiting on a text from someone who doesn't even deserve your energy. Let me ask you, when was the last time you focused entirely on YOU? Not your crush, not your ex, not your drama, but you. Because when you start focusing on yourself, the game changes. Suddenly, the ones who ignored you, they're watching. The ones who played you, they're regretting. But by then you're Giovanni, elevated, unreachable, unbothered. This is not a glow up for attention. This is a glow up for survival, for evolution, for your queen ERA. Let's talk about what happens when you stop chasing and start building yourself. Obsession with others is the silent poison that slowly kills your potential. Cinderella did. And what makes it worse is, you don't even realize it. You think you're just caring, loving, or trying harder, but what you're actually doing is shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's life story. Cinderella did. Think about it. How many times have you paused your own dreams just to make space for someone who couldn't even meet you halfway? You're checking their last scene. Cinderella did. You're reading their messages. You're creating imaginary scenarios in your head just to feel close to someone who's already emotionally gone. That's not love. That's abandonment of yourself. Because the moment your energy becomes centered on someone else's availability, you've already started disconnecting from your own. We've all been there. You're sitting with your coffee, but your mind is not with you. It's with them, wondering why they didn't call, replaying that conversation, decoding that emoji, reading into silences that were never meant to be understood. And the worst part, like Cinderella did, while you're investing all that energy into someone else who's investing in you. Let's flip the mirror. Imagine you spend the same amount of time obsessing over your next skill, your next fitness goal, your next business idea. Imagine if you poured all that emotional fire into building a verse self that doesn't just look good, but feels untouchable. Because the truth is, obsession is powerful energy. If you redirect it, you can become unstoppable. You don't need to chase anyone. You don't need to beg for attention. Like Cinderella, the moment you place your worth in someone else's hands, you've already started writing a story where you're the extra in your own movie. Why not be the main character? Why not shift from being the one who waits to the one who builds? Take a look at your phone screen time. Be honest. How much of that time is spent stalking, comparing, or waiting? You're tracking their likes, their stories, their comments, turning yourself into a background character of their highlight reel. And what does it give you? Temporary satisfaction followed by permanent self-doubt. There's a girl out there who spent years chasing someone who wouldn't even hold her hand in public. She thought if she became more perfect, more quiet, more agreeable, he would choose her. She even skipped her own opportunities to be available for his. But guess what? He still left. And when he did, she realized she didn't even recognize herself anymore. Because obsession doesn't just take your time. It steals your identity. Like Cinderella, you must stop putting your soul on pause just because someone doesn't know how to hit play. A woman who is whole never obsesses. Because she knows her value isn't tied to someone's presence or absence. Obsession thrives in emptiness. Like Cinderella did, but when you start to fill your life with purpose, passion, and peace, there's no room left for that noise. You'll be too busy designing your empire to care who viewed your story. It's not about becoming heartless. It's about becoming fearless. About choosing yourself, not as a second option, but as the priority. And when you do that, you no longer need closure from others. You create it for yourself. You stop asking, why did they treat me like that? And start saying, thank you for showing me where I was abandoning myself. Every time you obsess over someone who doesn't choose you, you delay the life that would, the blessings, the breakthroughs, the self-discoveries that are waiting for you to reclaim your energy. So no more obsession, no more waiting, no more playing small in your own story. Fall in love with your own energy, because that's the most loyal relationship you'll ever have. When you're in love with your own vibe, your own rhythm, your own silence, nobody can play you, nobody can shake you. You don't need constant attention, validation, or approval, because you've already become your own biggest fan. You wake up in the morning and instead of asking, does he still like me? You ask, what can I do today that makes Emmy proud? There's a different glow that comes from a woman who's in sync with her own energy. You can see it in how she walks into a room, not needing to be noticed but impossible to ignore. She's not loud, but her presence speaks volumes. That kind of confidence doesn't come from compliments. It comes from deep inner work, from showing up for yourself on days you felt like disappearing. And think about it. How many times have you adjusted your mood to match someone else's energy? You were having a good day until they ignored your message. You were feeling beautiful until someone didn't comment on your post. You were full of joy until someone else's silence robbed you of your own voice. That's what happens when you haven't fallen in love with your own energy. You give people the remote control to your emotions and then wonder why you feel drained. Now imagine this, you walk into a coffee shop alone, you order your favorite drink, no rush, no phone distraction. Just you, your thoughts, your vibe, and you smile. Not because someone complimented you, but because you feel whole. That is magnetic. That's how queens are built. Not in crowded rooms, but in quiet moments where they realize, I am enough. The world has taught us to chase people, to chase approval, to chase moments of being wanted. But what if you became the source instead of the seeker? What if your energy became so bold, so full, so unapologetic, that people felt honored just to exist in your space? You'd stop wondering who's texting and start attracting people who match your frequency. No more draining conversations. No more convincing someone to see your worth. Like Cinderella did, when you fall in love with your own energy, you stop begging for what you naturally attract. There's a girl out there now getting ready for a party she doesn't want to go to, wearing a dress she bought to impress someone who doesn't even value her. She's uncomfortable, anxious, hoping she'll run into him and he'll finally see her. But deep down, she feels invisible. Why? Because she's not tuned into her own energy. She's borrowed someone else's version of beauty, someone else's version of confidence, and that's exhausting. But then there's another woman, sitting at home, skin bare, hair tied up, sipping tea, while reading a book she loves. She's not performing for anyone. She's not curating herself, she's just being. And in that stillness, she's Cinderella did. She's powerful. She's not hiding. That's becoming, that's the difference. One is seeking energy. The other is living in it. Falling in love with your own energy means laughing at your own jokes, hyping yourself up before an interview, dancing alone in your room, taking yourself out on dates, and celebrating wins nobody even knows about. It means looking in the mirror and not just seeing a body, but a soul, a fire, a light that can't be dimmed by rejection or delayed by doubt. People will come and go. Attention will fade. Looks will change. But your energy, that's your fingerprint. That's Cinderella, that's your force. The world will try to convince you that you need to be someone else to be loved. But the moment you fall in love with your own vibe, you realize you don't need to be Morip, you just need to be you fully. And that energy, that's rare. That's unforgettable. Silence is a woman's loudest power because it speaks in a frequency only the wise can hear. In a world that expects you to react, explain, defend, and justify, choosing silence is not weakness, it's warfare. It is the power move most people never see coming. When you stop responding to every insult, every delay, every disappointment, you begin operating in a league above the noise. That's where real queens live. In the unbothered zone, there's something magnetic about a woman who doesn't beg for closure. She creates it. She doesn't text paragraphs explaining how she feels. She goes quiet and lets her absence echo louder than words. And trust me, silence will do what your words never could. It will make them feel your worth without you having to prove it. Remember that moment when you were arguing with someone, trying to make them understand, trying to get them to value your emotions. And the more you spoke, the more they minimized you. That's when you should have gone quiet, because silence doesn't beg to be understood. It commands attention. It forces people to sit with themselves, to feel the loss of your presence without your constant reminders. In daily life, silence is your armor. That moment your colleague disrespects you in front of others. Instead of clapping back, you look them in the eye, you smile with restraint, and you continue with grace. Why? Because silence embarrasses the insecure. It makes people feel exposed without you lifting a finger. You don't always have to clap back. Sometimes the clap comes when they realize you stopped clapping for them. There's a woman right now who walked away from a man who constantly made her feel like too much and not enough at the same time. He expected her to cry, beg, and fight for his half-love. But she didn't. She packed her silence and left. no text, no explanation, just peace. And that silence is now living rent-free in his mind. Because the most haunting sound is not a scream, it's the silence of someone who finally chose herself. Silence is also how a woman heals. It's in the moments when she turns her phone off, disappears from social media, stops explaining her pain, and retreats into her own sanctuary. That's where rebirth happens. While the world is loud and fast, she is still unintentional. People ask, where did she go? Not knowing, she's busy reconstructing her soul. Layer by layer, scar by scar, her silence isn't absence. It's evolution. When a woman goes silent after being hurt, betrayed, or disrespected, don't mistake it for surrender. It's strategy. It's a reset. And often, it's the moment she realizes, I don't need to be louder, I need to be clearer. And clarity comes from quiet. You don't find your power in constant noise. You find it in the silence where you hear your truth the loudest. Even in friendships, when you're always the one reaching out, always the one fixing things, trying to keep the bond alive, then one day, you just stop. No drama, just distance. That silence teaches them more than any confrontation ever could. It says, I'm not mad, I'm just done. Silence is also a form of boundary. It tells the world, like Cinderella did, I don't entertain chaos, I don't feed drama, I don't chase anything that costs me my peace. It is your refusal to perform, to over-explain, to stay accessible to people who didn't value you when they had access. Silence is where dignity lives. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you've mastered the art of not reacting to every trigger. You choose your battles. You protect your space. Because the woman who can hold her tongue, hold her energy, and hold her line, she holds the throne. Give yourself the energy you keep giving away because you can't keep pouring from an empty cup and expect to feel whole. You give and you give. Until you start feeling invisible in rooms where you were once the light. You show up for people who wouldn't walk across the street for you. Cinderella did. You carry emotions that aren't even yours while yours go unheard. And the truth is you're exhausted. Not because you're weak, but because you've been strong for everyone else and forgot to be strong for yourself. There's a woman right now cooking for a family that never says, thank you. Replying to texts from people who never ask how she's doing, organizing events, remembering birthdays, showing up with a smile. Even when her soul is screaming for rest, she's praised for being selfless, but inside she feels abandoned, not by others, but by her own self. Because every ounce of energy she had, she outsourced it. Now there's nothing left for her own dreams, her own healing, her own peace. Start pouring into you. That same patience you give to a friend when they mess up, give it to yourself when you fall. That same love you offer to someone who's having a breakdown, give it to yourself when you're silently crying in the shower. That same excitement you show for someone else's promotion, give it to yourself when you take even the smallest step toward your own growth. Because energy is currency, and you've been spending all of yours on people who never invested back. Have you ever been the therapist friend? The one who listens to everyone's problems, comforts them at 2 a.m., drops everything when someone calls, but when you need help, silence. You scroll through your contacts wondering who you can talk to, and suddenly the list looks empty. Not because you don't have people, but because you've trained everyone to think you don't need anything. That's what happens when you give energy to be needed, not to be nurtured. There's a girl who keeps chasing love over giving in every relationship. Buying gifts, planning dates, compromising on her boundaries. Thinking maybe this time she'll be loved the way she loves. But what she doesn't realize is, when you constantly give without receiving, you're not loving, you're leaking. And love that drains you is not love. It's dependency dressed as devotion. Reclaim that energy. Put it into yourself. Use it to fuel your fitness goals, your creative fire, your emotional recovery. Wake up and decide, today, I'm going to treat myself the way I've been treating people who don't even check on me. You'll be shocked how your life changes. Your skin clears. Your smile returns. Your mind becomes sharp again. Not because of magic, but because you finally started returning home to yourself, even in the workplace. You cover for others, take on extra tasks, say yes when you want to scream no. Why? Because you fear being seen as difficult. But guess what? Being a doormat never gave anyone a raise. Give your energy to your own development. Take that course. Practice that skill. Build something of your own. Be loyal to your future, not your fears. People won't always appreciate what you do, but that's not a reason to stop giving. It's a reason to redirect that giving inward. Your kindness isn't the problem. Your boundaries are. You can still be soft and still protect your energy like it's sacred. Because it is. And when you start giving to yourself the way you gave to the wrong ones, you stop surviving, you start rising, you become whole. Not because others filled you up, Cinderella did, but because you remembered you were never meant to stay empty. Don't compete. Don't compare. Just conquer. Because the truth is, there's no one else on this planet who was built to do exactly what you do, the way you do it. Like Cinderella did, every time you compare your lane to someone else's, you slow yourself down. Every time you compete with someone whose journey you don't fully understand, you start losing sight of your own purpose. And every second you spend doubting your path, you're delaying your power. Conquer quietly, confidently, and consistently. And watch the ones who used to intimidate you, start watching you. There's a girl scrolling through social media right now.